Good afternoon. Welcome to the TheoTrade afternoon video. I'm Blake Young, and today is July 23rd, 2026. We're going to talk about this pullback in the face of rising oil prices and a questionable labor market. Now, I've talked a lot about this. I've talked about labor. I've talked about oil. I've talked a lot about not shorting oil. I've talked about being bullish into energy in these markets. And certainly today is more evidence of the fact that we are nowhere near done with the conflict or with oil going higher. Today, oil is crest over $93 a barrel. $93.50 was the high of the day so far, and we saw the market react in a negative fashion. We've talked about the bearish posture. We've talked about the lower highs. We've talked about the pressure in equities on the way down. Now, today's gap down and close down, if we close below this 738, that puts us into the bearish posture where I think we easily can reach 727, which is the monthly monkey bar 50% level, and possibly before the end of this month, meaning in the next week. And there's a lot of buyers down here. That's what this green box is representing. A lot of buyers in that chart. So I would say that there's an opportunity to go short and pick that up at 727. But it's not just because the technical analysis shows us that this is the next move. There's fundamentals behind it. Now, I'll come back to crude in a minute, but I do want to show you one of the economic studies I've been watching. I've talked about this in the trade desk about labor force conditions and the Bureau of Labor and Statistics reports last month. But there's more to it. If you go to the Analyze tab, this is a Fed report from Kansas City. It's called the Labor Market Conditions Index. I want you to notice something about this, and you can do this here on the Thinkorswim platform, or you can go directly to the source, and that is at the FRED, FRED.stlouisfed.org, and this is the same report. Now, I want you to notice something about this. This going back to 1992, and as we're looking at this, every time, there's been more than a 0.5% correction in the Labor Market Condition Index. The Labor Market Condition Index fell at least 2% and through the 0%, meaning contraction of the labor market, and occurred during a recession every single time. And you can see back through here, there's a hit of 1.5, it pulled back 0.5 and cracked the 0% level, dropping all the way down here. Now that occurred right at the same time that we had the crack in the dot-com market. The bubble burst, and away it went. We rallied, and what did we do? We went up to a high point of 0.66. When it fell by 0.5 or more, we went down more than 2%, past the zero line, and this occurred ahead of time before the recession. So notice again, back here, from the beginning of that peak where it pulled back 0.5%, there was a year and a half ahead of time, roughly. Over here, your peak was November 2026 and November 2007. That's when we went into official recession, but it called the peak. When we corrected by 0.5%, down it goes. 2%, down, 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 down. Down it goes. And that was the recession. That's that gray block behind. Same thing even in 2020. Going into 2020, we hit a high peak. On July 2019, we made a lower peak. And if you look at the values, we went from 1.25, and when we get down to 0.7, kaboom, it completely has the rug pull. And in 2020, down it goes to negative 2%, and that's during a recession. Now, what we just saw is we saw a peak on the labor market. The best the labor market was May of 2022 at 1.46%, and when we dropped by that same percentage and got below 0.9, theoretically, that was our signal that we should be heading into a recession, that we should see bearishness, that we should see this continue to liquidate, that we should see us go through the 0%, and we should see a big gray block for recession. Now, that happened May of 2023 that we turned the corner and dropped the 0.5%. Every other time in history, we've seen that correction lead into a recession. Now, here we are, 3 years later, and we're still selling off. We're still dropping down, and the labor conditions are still heading towards negativity. And yet we don't have a recession according to the data here. And it's not just that the labor market is compressing, that we're getting less and less job postings. We're not just getting less job hirings. We're not seeing things under the benchmark that used to be considered good. If we had 200,000 jobs, we've lost over 500,000 people from the workforce, and the job postings have done nothing but got lower and lower. So we're near the lowest level of job postings while we're continuing to see the labor market compress. So there's not as many jobs available. We're at some of the lowest levels we've been at in a very long time. In fact, we're holding at what was the pre-COVID collapse of the labor market at the same level of job postings during the recovery. So if we get through this level, then there's not a lot of jobs going to be available no matter what industry or sector we're looking for. And you can see this is not just a government survey. This is on websites like Indeed. Job postings are the same thing, way back to the absolute lows, and we're just not seeing jobs availability. So if we have lower jobs, we have more people not employed. Notice I'm not saying unemployed. The unemployment number only shows you who is eligible for unemployment benefits. The number of people employed versus the number of people in the workforce tells you how many people do not have jobs, or not employed, not necessarily unemployed. I know a minor distinction, but it's a significant bit of data. It's not just about the labor market. It's not even just about crude, but the combination of the two. If the labor market's struggling, heading down, going negative, and we're seeing that crude is reaching back to previous highs, going past the $93 mark today, possibly getting through 95, and even going above 100, that means the total cost of things, inflation, and how much expendable income the market has available to the consumers is going to disappear, and demand is going to drop off dramatically. It's the reason why today some of your top performers, of course, are energy, because crude's up so high, but so are utilities. Utilities are positive as well. We're still seeing money move away from equities and into safety. Now, I would love to have utilities break out and close past this high, as far as just breaking out of this consolidation sideways. But what I like about utilities and utility stocks that we've talked about over the last month is that we can get a good dividend that is equivalent to, or sometimes even higher than, what we're getting out of bonds. And bonds haven't performed as well. So utilities can give us the same kind of behavior bonds as far as fixed income and a return, versus when we look at bonds and see that bond prices have struggled, in fact, breaking out and breaking down today. So the bonds are still safe if you hold them to maturity, but trading them, this is not a good time to be a buyer of bonds. So utilities fill that gap and allow you to get a high dividend, a high return, even though it's not an interest rate, it's a dividend payment, and it doesn't need to go up, but you can collect those dividends on these stocks as well. And though we have earnings coming up, this is one of the few stocks I think is setting up for a buy signal. We might have to wait for this to pass through earnings tomorrow morning, but this has an opportunity to go from 90 to 94, 90 to 98 even, all the way back to those highs. So I'm looking for a 10% move higher in NextEra, and NextEra also gives you about a 2.77% yield. Now, the volatility on it is going to be a little bit higher going into earnings, but I don't think we're going to get the big gap down in earnings. That would be a little surprising to me. If you wanted to sell the put premium, you can get the 2.9%, but you can also just buy the stock on this one. I think that's both of those are opportunities in NextEra. I like the move in Dominion. We have a few more days before earnings, but maybe needs another confirmation. It's about a 3% dividend. Exelon is similar. It's not quite breaking out. So we're getting very, very close to technical trade entries on utilities, but today's just not the day. It's close, but I think this is the next place I'm looking, and probably looking to flat out buy the underlying to get the dividend, rather than selling puts to get into these, because the put premium isn't high enough to justify missing out on the directional move or the upcoming dividends. And again, you'll see it on pretty much all of them. They're all trying to bounce. Yesterday is potentially a buy signal. SRE is here, but it hasn't broke out of this sideways move. But they're all very, very close, or potentially buy signals yesterday, today, if you're willing to ride it out through earnings. And I do think the market is looking for safety. This is a very questionable drop in the market, especially if oil can hold up above the highs. We're back to 92 with about an hour to go. So we'll see how the day ends. But utilities look to be very promising. Healthcare is coming up and doing strong today. And staples just not quite there. So continue to watch for healthcare and utilities as defensive plays into this market. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the trading room tomorrow.